You son of a bitch.
Hit you with the drop kick, Marty Jannetty. No, I hit you with the drop kick, Marty Jannetty. No, I hit you with the drop kick, Marty Jannetty. No, I hit you with that drop kick, Marty Jannetty.
Let me do this again.
Oh, it's live, Al.
We are live from downtown Cleveland. Shout out to Adam the Bull. Stole a sticker there a little bit. Coming into the show hot. I'm one half of your host, Rob.
I'm Clint.
And this is the latest edition of Hot Tag Wrestle Corner. Sorry if the vocals sound a little off, being worked on at the moment. Coming at you hot with our news. We're going to just jump into it and skip the subtleties so we can get out of here in a solid 2 hours. My man needs somewhere he has to go. Let's do it. So, well, yours are still working. I'll start it off. So, start off in the Far East in New Japan. Give you an update on the G1 Climax, the 32nd edition, following night 5. So, without giving results of matches, current block standings after the 5th night, Okada currently leads his block 2-0 record and 4 points. Jeff Cobb's behind him at 1-1 with 2 points. Bad Luck Fale is 1-1 with 2 points. Toru Yano is 1-1 with 2 points. Tom Lawler has not wrestled or yet because his record is 0-0. So he obviously has 0 points. Lance Archer and Jonah both have 0 points with an 0-1 record. Moving on to the B block. World champion IWGP heavyweight champion Jay White, the Switchblade, the Blade Pervert, whatever you want to call him, 2-0, 4 points. Tama Tonga 1-0 with 2 points. Bird fucking face Taichi 1-1 with 2 points. Also is Sonata. Cold Stone is 1-1 with 2 points. Followed by Great O'Connor, who has not wrestled yet and has 0 points. Chase Owen and is 0-1. And Tomohiro Ishii, surprisingly, of all people, is 0-2, both with 0 points. Moving on to the C block. Zack Sabre Jr. 2-0 with 4 points. Hiroki Goto 1-0 with 2 points. Aaron Henare, also of United Empire, 1-1 with 2 points. Hiroshi Tanahashi 1-1 with 2 points. Evil hasn't wrestled yet. He has 0-0 record and 0 points. Tetsuya Naito surprisingly 0-2 so far in the tournament, which a lot of people are saying this may be his last one. I don't know if that means he's going to early retirement or he's leaving the company or contract issues or whatever that might be. But so far, not a good showing so far from my man Los Ingobernables de Japón. Also with 0 points is Kenta in this block with the 0-1 record. Moving on to the D block, where you could catch Jada Kiss and the Locks residing. Will Ospreay 1-0 with 2 points. Juice Robinson 1-0 with 2 points. El Phantasmo 1-1 with 2 points. Tokyo Pimp Yujihiro Takahashi 1-1 with 2 points. Shingo Takagi surprisingly lost his first match, but did win his second. So I mean, props to Juice Robinson for getting the victory over him. That was on the second night. The main event the second night. Shingo has a 1-1 record with 2 points. Shitty ass Yoshihashi, of course, he's 0-1 with 0 points because he's shitty. And David Finlay 0-1 with 0 points also. It's still working for you, Clino? Not yet.
I'm getting there.
Okay, no worries, brother. I'll jump in. I'll save all McMahon stuff until you load up, because my stuff ties with your stuff. Moving on. From New Japan news, have a breaking story coming off of last night's our Ring of Honor Dishonor No More. We are going to talk about that show on next week's show. I
actually watched it.
I missed it, so I want to catch up with you so we can both talk about it succinctly. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah, we got to do predictions for SummerSlam next week too, because that's next Saturday. Now that I think about it. But coming out of that show, Jonathan Gresham reportedly has asked for his AEW and ROH release. Jonathan Gresham appears potentially to be done with ROH and AEW after he reportedly asked for his release last night after Death Before Dishonor. According to Fightful Select, where we're getting this story from through our source of 411 Mania, Gresham asked for his release on Saturday night before the show, where he lost the ROH championship to Claudio Castagnoli in the opening bout. Damn. Is that telling too? Because most of the times, I've heard, here's what I'm saying, most of the time in the past, when you hear wrestlers are pissed off about something on the show, they're usually in that opening match, so they could ever get out of it. To give you some examples, Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34, I think it was, and he retained. And so probably he was pissed at the booking of that, and he kept his damn shit. Then
Wait,
Come on, Bobby, let's go.
I'm staying here, Mama, but thank you. The next one is MJF. He opened the show pissed off at Khan with his contract situation, and then it was reported that he didn't stay for the show. He left soon as his match was over. So that was another example of that that I can think of.
I think that different. I think it's different with that situation because of the way the card like was planned out. So I think it was just unfortunate he had to be the first match. And once you watch the pay per view, you understand how.
Yeah.
You understand how it planned out. So I don't think that was the reason because of him being what's the name. You gotta be the first match. The crowd going, you know.
But
that was his job.
Well, let me finish the story. According to the site, Gresham asked for his release because he felt disrespected by a lack of communication between himself and the company. He said it in the promo, so he truly meant that. He also had issues with how little time the World Championship match received. Gresham had got a meeting with, that means that I knew the tag team both were going to main event at a film. Gresham had a meeting with Tony Khan before the show and communicated a lot of frustration with several talent confirming the news. Gresham is said to have cussed out Tony Khan.
Oh, well, okay.
And remember I said, I bet you this is a party because I felt like we're back ROH, but you're pushing a lot of AEW talent.
And ROH.
Yeah, and some of them ROH original people are probably going to be pissed off about that. Like, they're going to feel like they're getting pushed out. I feel like that's kind of how that sounds a little bit there. Let me get into some other stories. I see you still working there. So we'll skip. Like I said, I'm skipping anything, Vince. So we talked about last week's show. We talked about the barbed wire death match between Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. During the match, there was a spot where Jericho went. I believe Jericho had the chair, and he went to attack Eddie, and Eddie kicked up at him, and no, Eddie had the chair, was going to attack Jericho with it. He stopped him from doing it. When he did it, Eddie dropped the chair and it landed dead on Jericho's face. Well, apparently that broke his nose. Chris Jericho confirmed an injury suffered during the barbed wire everywhere match with Eddie Kingston at AEW. As noted last night, Jericho defeated Eddie Kingston in the match. But was thrown by his opponent through his spider web of barbed wire after the match and was stretched out. Jericho took to Twitter to reveal that he suffered a broken nose during the match. He just left the doctor. It's official. That Savage, the Mad King, 1981, broke my nose last night. All right. That's what he said on Twitter. All right.
That's what got it going.
Backstage update on Liv Morgan's recent push in WWE. Liv Morgan is on SmackDown's Women's Champion following Money in the Bank and will have a match with Ronda Rousey at WWE SummerSlam. According to the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, part of the reason behind her push is because Sasha Banks and Naomi both walked out of the company. Belief was that SmackDown needed a new top-tier babyface for the women's roster, and Morgan was the one chosen. It worked out well because fans have been supporting Liv Morgan's title run for a while now. Banks and Naomi have indefinitely been suspended days after their walkout and haven't been seen in WWE since. I don't know why they haven't released an official statement just to say that they're both gone, because it didn't seem like they're coming back. Back to AEW. Update on Santana's knee injury he suffered during Blood and Guts. As previously reported, Santana suffered an ACL injury during AEW Blood and Guts and is expected to miss around 8 months. According to the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, as we get our reports through our source, 411 Mania, once again, quoting those. AEW wrestler recently had reconstructive knee surgery. Wrestling Observer newsletter also confirmed the timetable to be 8 months. As previously reported, there was a large rumor regarding Santana's status in AEW and his tag team with Ortiz. Conan recently said the pair are not on good terms. It's believed that his AEW deal expires on September 1st. Jake Atlas issues a statement on his domestic violence arrest. Last month, Jake Atlas was arrested, as we told you here in our news and notes. We talked about it in the show. I'm just following up. Last month, Jake Atlas was arrested on charges of misdemeanor battery, just domestic assault. The charges were later dropped. Police were called about an incident in which he allegedly tried to attack his partner, who would not be identified here. In a post on Twitter, Atlas issued a statement on the situation. He wrote, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank those of you who would take the time to read the statement. I'm issuing a formal apology for my wrongdoing and any hurt, disappointment, and complications that I may have caused to my colleagues and fans. As incredibly difficult as it is for me to publicly disclose my very personal and private information, it's imperative to admit to my alcohol abuse and provide transparency in my deteriorating mental health. I have accepted that my anxiety and depression led me to detrimentally self-medicate the last 7 years. In addition, a lot of unresolved trauma resurfaced for me recently that was fundamental for the development of some extremely negative core beliefs, and I was inadequately able to manage. An incident occurred a couple of months ago that I am 100% not proud of. I take complete responsibility and accountability for the situation of my actions, recognize that the state of being intoxicated does not excuse my behavior. I have made a terrible mistake. I hurt a lot of people I love, and it's something I deeply regret. The only clarity that I wish to provide specifically about what circulated online is that is this. The relationship was not an abusive in any way, shape, or form, and this event certainly not a reflection of my character. One can read a report and choose to take the information for what it is, but to speculate, draw conclusions, or create a narrative that has no merit or only adds further damage to those involved. It has a situation that was already being and continues to be dealt with privately. It is so with great humility that I ask for respect and privacy going forward. I would like to share that I have successfully completed an intensive outpatient program at Live Well Behavioral Health in Florida. I have self-admitted with a dual diagnosis in substance abuse and mental health. The treatment consisted of 10 years of group and individualized therapy every week for 5 weeks. The next step is the program is to attend one group session for a week for every 3 weeks to continue individually outpatient therapy thereafter. My time there has been nothing short of extraordinary and life-changing and a phenomenal first step in our recovery. I am human, and I make mistakes, and I am flawed. I believe in second chances. I believe in redemption and in turn. I believe in personal growth. Express my gratitude to those who have reached out to me. I made an exceptional progress, and I am excited for my future. I have full faith to the positive outcome of this journey and continuing my sobriety and a process of healing with support of my friends, family, and my partner. Yesterday I was clever, and I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. Quote Rumi.
Oh, you're done?
Dang, you had to dog what he going through, dog?
I ain't done.
You fell asleep on it?
No offense. I get your whole scenario, but it's not that important enough to be making these long ass statements. You don't care. Being honest.
Next story. There's been a cease and desist issue.
A good quick power nap though.
Over Will Ospreay's shirt mocking Kenny Omega has been removed from Pro Wrestling Tees. In a post on Twitter, Pro Wrestling Tees revealed they have removed the new Will Ospreay shirt due to cease and desist they received. Will Ospreay confirmed the news, and it appears that Kenny Omega and AEW were behind it. Ospreay said much in the video he posted on social media, while Omega seemingly confirmed it. The shirt features Ospreay delivering a one-wing angel, Omega's finisher.
I've seen that.
With better than the bout machine on the back.
No, it's a backstory to that.
Omega's nickname is the best.
It's a backstory to that. So he had a match. I don't remember who was facing, and he did the one wing angel, and then he put the dude's arm up to make it seem like he kicked out of it. Kicked out of it. He's like, no. Oh yeah, I was backstory to that. That was funny.
It is a cease and desist. For the shirt. Omega replied, "This triggered various legal concerns with the hashtag AEW. Sincere apologies to the fans of Will. We made it so all orders that made today will still be honored." It said, there you go. It said that Ospreay and Omega have feuded recently on social media, with Ospreay recently hitting Omega's finish in New Japan. Here's the thing. So eventually when Omega comes back and they do Forbidden Door 2, is that his match now instead of versus Okada?
I can see it.
Instead of versus Okada?
I can see it.
Let's see where that goes. Okay.
No,
can we get in event shit? You ready?
I got a couple real quick. I had to.
That's
my main issue.
Non-event shit.
My main issue was trying to pull up my notes.
Okay. No, you're good, bro.
So, sorry for that long delay.
You're fine.
Quick story. One was Mandy Rose. We talked about Jonathan Gresham. You know, he said he won this release from ROH and AEW. Well, somebody who actually got, I guess, I don't consider drop down to NXT a demotion. To me, I don't consider it. Mandy Rose, who is the longest women NXT women champion now, she passed Charlotte's reign, and she was talking about how She's super grateful for everything that came the past year, and she was shocked at first that she was going back to NXT. And she talked about how like Corey Graves gave her all these creations, like the golden goddess and God greatest creation, you know, everything like that. She did say that they pegged her to be like Trish Stratus 2.0. But the main thing for this was she was asked about the NXT women's championship should it be defended at SummerSlam, and she said she said she feel it should. She said that's bullshit.
Why? Don't they have their own show on SummerSlam?
Huh?
Don't they have their own show on SummerSlam weekend?
No.
Okay, so then
But they start doing like them old like
so why is it
American Bash
bullshit?
she basically said it's bullshit because you look at her reign, and this is where I disagree. I get it, you have been the most consistent champion, but your reign, you ain't really like beat nobody, really like, and you ain't never won none of your matches clean, in my opinion.
Not to mention Roman Reigns exists.
Yeah, I'm about to say yeah. Like, I guess yeah. I mean, he got the best run right now, probably any champion.
What are you talking about, Mandy Rose?
Well, she said she enjoying her time in NXT. She said she want to come back to Raw, SmackDown, but she said if she come back, she said she want to come back to where it's set to where she can go for a championship. Yeah,
I don't know about all that.
Might not happen. Sorry,
know
man.
about all that.
Mick Foley said he would like his ashes spread at WrestleMania after he dies. Oh, you said, oh my God.
That's
Because it's Mick Foley.
Really, but it's over the top.
Huh?
Like, I know you love wrestling, but it's over the top, bro. Like, come on.
This is on his Foley's Pod show.
I
And
haven't heard that episode yet.
He
Good
said-
podcast though.
he said, I'm going to be cremated when the times come. We'll see if Vince will let my family drop the ashes in the ring before the main event of WrestleMania. That's crazy. Had he ever he don't think he main evented a WrestleMania. No, he did WrestleMania 2000, right?
Yeah.
That's the only one he ever main evented.
Yeah, but I'm about to say, before the main event too.
Yeah.
Freak the fucking crowd up before action.
Let me see. Yes, he said, wouldn't that be great? He has had a lengthy and prominent stunt in other companies, both before and after his time in WWE, which include a Hall of Fame induction in 2013. I mean, that seemed a little out there. But I mean, let's see. One of our running segments that we talk about is SmackDown Max Dupree and his Maximum Male models. Well, he's no longer involved in this storyline. He was removed from the angle at the last minute, and those involved wasn't given any solid information about his status. This, of course, was all Vince's idea. This angle was all Vince's idea. And he came to the ring to produce the debut segment, which he normally don't do. He had a distinct vision for how Dupree was signed. He did not want his character to sound nothing like LA Knight. While Mace and Mansoor were on board, he had reservations. One source says that he made waves in regards to scripts as he challenged what the writers were coming up with. Another suggests that Vince's retirement could be the best thing that happened to him because he had supporters in WWE who enjoyed his work, particularly in his delivery that could lead to more opportunities. Also, as we get into SmackDown this week, as he introduced his sister, she's going to be taking over the storyline from here on out. And he's officially done with the role with the group. Reports said that Dupree wasn't fitting in and rubbed people the wrong way. As a result, Vince decided to out him of the storyline. It also is known that he knew he was making his last appearance last week when he announced Maxine Dupree arrival for the show. And there's also no word for what's next for Dupree in WWE. So yeah, I was just reading that story about you. Asked me about your boy Max Dupree. They say it's a good thing that he probably got away from that because there's a lot of people in the company that might go to work and like him as a talent. So he might
work, but they know that storyline and shit.
Well, it was Vince's idea. Like Vince actually produced the debut segment. They said Vince don't rarely do, and then they said he kind of exited out at the last minute. Like he knew it last week when he introduced Maxine. He knew that, which I get into when I get into SmackDown. He knew that he was out of the segment. So that's basically it.
Are you getting
Now, I guess we get into Sir Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
this for?
Man. So we all know the big news was that Vince retired from everything WWE. Everything. Even creative. Everything. It's letter sent to employees. Probably give a little backstory before we get into that. So this started when a $3 million pro was against him for allegedly
trial.
Yeah, he said he had like a affair or something with a paralegal, and then he paid her out, and then of course he shared it with John Laurinaitis, who was his boy. Then a couple days later, he stepped down from like all the major money things, but he still left Stephanie. She got promoted in charge, which means she bought back Triple H. Which I get into his role later as we go more into the news story. Then was it like a week ago? I want to say, because we talked about last show was a couple weeks ago, where it alleged there was some more suits that came out. No, first, my fault. When we was back from Chicago, the story came out that like a wrestler supported Rita, the female ref. I've got her name.
Don't know.
That she filed a suit that Vince did like actually like assaulted her or raped her or anything like that. So somebody came out and confirmed that story. Then came out about the fact that he settled like 5 lawsuits, including $7.5 million to one who in 2018. Apparently, we talked about this last week too. Somebody that he was scheduled to give a push to, and then when they rejected advances, he basically boop, said, "Okay, well, you're fired. You don't work for me no more." Basically, and Vince McMahon. I wonder how you say you're fired. You're fired. I wonder, like, do he say you're fired differently on camera? Probably to he fired somebody like
I would hope so.
And then the news this week was he retired from everything. So I said we're gonna get more to the full position than everybody else. This is his letter. It's the full letter. He issued a statement. Then he named Stephanie McMahon a new WWE chairwoman and co-CEO. Nick Khan's co-CEO as well. This was his letter. It said, "To all the superstars, as I approach 77 years old, OMG, am I really that old?" No.
He had no. It's like he's oblivious to the shit that he's done, and he's like cracking jokes.
I feel like it's time for me to retire. I thoroughly enjoy sharing my passion, wisdom, and love for the business with you. No longer will you see that smiling, the cold, level-headed, calm presence that gorilla every week. It's his word, not mine. It's his statement. Your dedication to WWE will ensure that our company will continue to grow and prosper. Our organization is nothing without you. You are WWE's only natural resource chosen to perform in front of a global audience. You are all WWE global ambassadors. But I will be watching. Remember to keep your hands up, grab a hold, and sail. By the way, SmackDown airs live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Fox. Vince.
Any promoted SmackDown. By the way, SmackDown come on tonight.
I know, right? Like, just go in, like, just go put that in. Like, okay, like, yo, well, focus on the what's the name there. You got anything for it?
Focus on the positives, eliminate the negative.
You got any backstage mood and rumors after his retirement was held. So yeah, the Zoom meeting that evening at 5 p.m. They said it was a short rah-rah meeting with Vince described as irreplaceable. So he's still tooting his own horn, I guess, even in what's the name. Anyway, we named that Triple H
There's a word for this. It hasn't come to me yet. I'm
Trial.
just thinking of it. Go ahead.
Oh well, when you think of it, it'll probably come to because while we still talking about Vince, because some more Vince stuff we gonna have to talk about.
Trial.
It's something along the levels of sociopathic, but that's not the word I want to say though, because it's like he's oblivious to like,
Trial.
oh yeah, well, the reason I'm retiring isn't because I have all these sexual assault cases coming out
Trial.
against me, or me paying off the women from coming out with sexual assault cases against me. No, I'm retiring like, oh, I'm too old for this, like a regular person.
Trial.
Like we don't know what's going on.
They
Trial.
also add that several Raw talents were not required to attend a virtual meeting. It was a quick
Trial.
goodbye to those that was there. It had not been confirmed if he spoke at this meeting. But the quick goodbye is how
Trial.
Fightful described the meeting. It was also know that people from WWE have not been told who will be running creative side of things for either show
Trial.
moving forward. But it's confirmed that Vince had retired from all active roles in the company.
I got something on
Trial.
that.
They are
Got
rampant.
something on that next.
All right. There were rampant and unconfirmed rumors that
Trial.
again, and I reported on this when it first talked about him stepping down, that Kevin Dunn might be the next person to
Trial.
go. I got something on Kevin Dunn later too.
Okay.
Like other
You know, it's funny. I've been waiting for something to come out about Kevin Dunn. Not that I've heard he's a creep or anything, but so many people dislike him.
Trial.
I was like,
yeah, Stephanie can't stand him.
I'm like, it got to be a matter of time because dude's been there forever.
Yeah, Stephanie can't stand him.
Trial.
Go ahead.
He's been at Vince's side for many years, even more than Laurinaitis. Speculation that
He's
he's
been there since like '82.
they're also speculating that
Trial.
Laurinaitis will end up possibly being the fall man and all this.
Oh, for sure.
All
he is.
this.
For sure he is.
All this. So
Trial.
Bruce Pritchard was running SmackDown tonight. The
If
react
he went to jail for it, which he's not, but if he did, like, I'm sure Vince will take care of him.
Trial.
yeah. He's the loyalist to Vince. He gonna have to, cause Stephanie about to fire that ass. She can't stand him. They can't stand each other at all.
Trial.
He said there'd been a pretty positive reaction in the locker room regarding his retirement. Some thought it was a
Trial.
surprise, but they're excited to see a lot of new talent coming along the way to see what's next. I'm gonna get to a story about Triple H.
Trial.
Triple H plan on what he planned on doing with his new position.
Position.
Basically, the meeting was basically the crux of this was
Trial.
Vince was basically announcing the time where everybody to still continue waiting the WWE flag. They also was pointing that the reason he retired because there's about to be more allegations coming forward against him and John Laurinaitis,
Trial.
which I believe because you just don't retire that like that after I'm not that statement where it makes it like you're not going nowhere and you punching yourself on TV all the time. It's some more shit about to come out about this. I'm not shocked. It is. So that's another story about that. You said you got some stuff
Trial.
pertaining to this.
Yeah.
I got some more stuff, but I'll let you go ahead and
So I'll do my short one before I go to the one you're talking about with that.
Trial.
So on the AEW side of this, Tony Khan references Vince McMahon's retirement in a statement. On Twitter, he says, quote, "Thank you to wrestling fans and your great support at
Trial.
AEW. I am grateful to now be the longest tenured CEO in pro wrestling. Thank you very much for every single person who watches at AEW on TV. See you Friday night for hashtag AEW Rampage at TNT Drama."
Trial.
That wasn't it. That was just quick AEW.
Oh,
Poking fun at Vince right quick. So, as you were talking about talent
you
relations,
don't think he was genuine?
Trial.
no, hell no. I feel like he's poking the bear while
Trial.
it's down. But if you like seeing him face to face, you might say, sorry for this situation.
I think so.
At the same time, as much as Vince has tried to be a hindrance to AEW during their rise, I'm pretty sure he ain't losing no feelings, no sleep about this shit.
Trial.
But back to what you're talking
He's
about.
being petty without being petty.
Right. Back to what you're talking
I respect
about
that.
with backstage situations involving talent and such. Details on who's been leading creative after
Trial.
Vince McMahon's retirement. As previously reported, Vince McMahon announced retirement from WWE and with Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan taking over as co-CEOs, they have resulted in a lot of upheaval in the company, as McMahon has also been stepping down as the head of creative. Fightful Select is a source as we get this through 401 Mania. Our source reports that Bruce Prichard is currently leading creative as of last night's SmackDown, with Ed Koskey taking point. Triple H helped direct traffic at last night's taping. The producers were told while Prichard is taking over many of Vince's duties right now, nothing that is permanent has been announced.
So he might be taking over possibly.
Talent is said to be curious about who's in charge permanently and who is looking at the possible creative challenges in the future. They believe their future will depend on who is ultimately in control. If Prichard takes over, it is believed that not much will change. If it's
I can see that.
If it's someone else, they have more opportunities for advancement. One change that is expected is fewer rematches. And sometimes Vince will put together a match.
Oh, God, thank you. No more of that 50-50 booking.
Sometimes he will put together a match after forgetting they'd already done it several times. They are.
How many times did we say that, though? It's like he treated that we had like 3-month mind frames. Like, he keep reacting.
Maybe that's his old age. Maybe that was his old age. Like, I forgot.
How many times we said this on that? Like, he act like we had like 3-month mind frame intervals. Like, after 3 months, we forget stuff. Like, no. Like,
what is my statement, bro? He pretends that he has the flasher thing
from Men in Black. Yeah.
Like, you can wipe your memory clean of this shit. Like, no. Like, you keep lying like, this is the last time Brock Lesnar and Roman are going to meet. Next Saturday at SummerSlam. Like, you know they going to wrestle again. Fuck out of here. Anyway, we'll get to him in a second, too. Speaking of Brock. Continuing the statement, they said... there are some who said McMahon also had trouble remembering names at times. Some felt that while the next head of creative may not change from Vince's view or vision due to respect, they may be small changes that make big difference.
I get that. I get that what they're saying. Like, basically, like, he's still going to find a footprint of Vince, but, like, little small stuff. Okay, I can see that.
In addition to changes to the show made regarding Brock Lesnar, the original script for last night's show also included more time for the Maximum Male Model segment and Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan segment.
I'll wait till it get to SmackDown because it wasn't that much time for that segment.
It got a promo. It didn't get the time that they got the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
So in that way, I guess I got the
they
best.
Cut it.
I got the best of it then.
I
was excited. I remember last week I was like, damn, I had SmackDown. I'm glad I didn't now. I got the best of it while it was still there. The best of the bad, I guess I could say, because it wasn't good. It was just fun to laugh at. Yeah. Anyway, they said that segment was supposed to be longer. Overall, it was said to be looser show, producer-wise. The people backstage think there will be more to this happening for the future. Like, this will continue.
And watching SmackDown, I kind of got that vibe. Just like with some of the promos that they was going on, which I'm getting to. SmackDown was like, I'm going to say I had 2 good shows this week.
Talent was said to be shocked. Several longtime talent were put off by the fact that a talent meeting was held at Money in the Bank, in which it was said that McMahon wasn't going anywhere. Several top stars were said to be bothered and have no idea that it was happening. Other talent who were curious who will be the next to leave, particularly those in Vince's inner circle, with Kevin Dunn being one person who's thinking will leave next. Another talent suggests that Vince may eventually come back, as they don't believe that he can stay away. A lot of talent who didn't know what Vince would do now, as he didn't really have much spare time prior to this.
So you're talking about people that
that's the last of my news.
Talking about people that what's the name? Let's get to some.
Wait, I'm lying. I have one more when you're finished. Go ahead.
A couple people
it's
like
AEW related.
A couple people had some really son of a bitch.
Trial.
I got it. Go ahead, do your AEW. I gotta pull it back up.
All right. So
my bad. Hit the wrong button.
injury update at AEW World Champion CM Punk. So good news and bad news. Injuries healing fine. There's no timetable when it returns. So he's probably.
Who said
he was just glad he put the woo back in the beginning after he got his ass called out on the carpet for his actions back in the day of damn near sexually harassing that flight attendant. I'm not proud of you for that, Nate.
Oh, the one that got Tommy Dreamer, what's the name from Impact?
Deservedly so.
Yeah. He said, "That Vince McMahon, you made my life better ever since I've been in the wrestling business. You're the only promoter in my career that treated me like a man, respected who I was, and made me a better person. God bless you for all you done. FYI, no one could follow your act."
Trial.
Next, we got Gerald Briscoe. Disappointing
Oh
feat.
God, this is gonna be a dick ride. I can see this coming. Go ahead.